to talk about some under-the-radar games this weekend.
Okay.
The football weekend is closing upon us. It actually begins tomorrow, both in the high school and the college ranks.
Yeah.
We've got games. We got Rice opening up college football play against Western Kentucky, and then we've also got a number of high school games going on tomorrow night. But I want to talk about games that I think are flying under the radar.
Okay.
We're going to shoot Fixin' to Pick 'em, my weekly high school football picks video.
Too long from now.
Right after the show. We're going to shoot it. It should be up tomorrow morning on TexasFootball.com. But there are a couple games that I think people aren't paying attention to. A couple games I think are sliding under people's radar, sliding into people's DMs, if you will. One of them is Cisco and Wall.
Yeah.
And I understand why, because this is a small school.
Sure.
Small school, it's West Texas, and inevitably we Texas high school football fans tend to focus more on the Metroplex areas and the big schools. Those are that's a natural order of things. But this Cisco Wall game is really interesting to me for a number of reasons. First of all, I think it's going to be a great game. You know, Wall's coming off a difficult loss last week, but they were 12-1 last year. We have high expectations for the Hawks. They've got a really impressive defense, although it didn't show it last week rather.
Right.
How do they bounce back against Case Gale? Case Gale is the new quarterback for Cisco, and he was sensational last week. Ran for something like 220 yards, threw for another touchdown. He's a very impressive athlete. How do they handle that kind? Especially at home. Wall comes home to face Cisco. This is a relatively big rivalry game. These teams do not like each other. I think this game's kind of sliding under the radar just a little bit. There's a college game that I think is sliding under the radar as well. Yeah, I know that everybody's really excited about college football coming back.
Right.
But I do think that there's a college game kind of sliding under people's radar as well. And it's New Mexico State and UTEP.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
for sure. Okay.
It's the Battle of I-10 out there in El Paso at the Sun Bowl, 7 p.m. Saturday. Mm-hmm. And first of all, we get the return of Aaron Jones. Yep. And I want to see how Aaron Jones looks like. We could hopefully see Larry Rose III, the Fairfield great, running for New Mexico State. And that's all I want. All I want is those two just throwing haymakers at one another.
You and
that's
I
all
agree
I
on
want.
this, yeah.
The other thing about it, and this is a really underrated aspect of this game, if you were to rank the most underrated rivalries in the nation, this would be on it. These two teams don't like each other. These two teams they call it the Battle of I-10 for a reason. They're on the same road.
Yeah.
There's no love lost between UTEP and New Mexico State.
Yeah, and this is also like #weird football.
Oh yeah,
something weird always happens.
Yeah, this is never like a 34-21 game. This is always something crazy.
Right.
Something crazy always happens in this game, and especially at the Sun Bowl, I feel like this game's got a chance to get real, as they say, lit, fam.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really, really fun to watch. So that's a game. One other game I want you to keep an eye on. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I tweeted about this the other day.
Yes.
Texas Tech hosts Stephen F. Austin. Yeah. Okay. Let's be clear. Tech's going to beat Stephen F. Austin.
Right.
Tech's going to beat Stephen F. Austin probably by a lot.
Yeah.
But this is a Stephen F. Austin team that if you believe that Texas Tech has made strides defensively, this is a good test for Tech. Yeah. Because Zach Conk, their quarterback, is legit.
Yeah.
And
he'll cause problems.
Yeah, he will. They've got a good running back in Lauren Easley. Yeah. This is a good team. This is a good Stephen F. Austin team. Again, Tech's going to win. I'm not picking Stephen F. Austin to go into Lubbock and win. No. But we're going to get a really good measuring stick of where Texas Tech is, especially defensively, in this game, just because I think Stephen F. Austin is no pushover.
Yeah, there's more than meets the eye when you look at this game.
And then one more under-the-radar game, Max, in Texas high school football. I want to draw your attention to out east, to Mineola taking on Kaufman. Okay. Mineola, we haven't talked a lot about them, but they had a pretty disappointing debut last week. I don't remember who they lost to. Do you remember?
Van. 41-21.
Now, that's a 4A over 3A, so that's part of it.
But
at the same time, it was disappointing week 1 loss. And we know they have the talent. Jeremiah Crawford, Chance Perkins are running back, Mike Drennan. Things don't get easier because now they're going up against a Kaufman team that had a breakout year last year. And they're also in that same position where they lost their opener.
I don't remember who they lost.
You're listening to live coverage of me googling something on DCTF.
It's a tradition unlike any other on DCTF
They lost their opener to Lindale by 3 points on the road at Lindale.
Yeah.
But this is a team in Kaufman that we still have high expectations for. They got a dual threat quarterback in Jefferson Fritz back. Dre Prox is kind of their two-way star. This is a game that one of these teams is going to start off 0-2. Yeah. And again, I don't think that starting off 0-2 is a death sentence.
No.
Okay? There are plenty of teams. Their history is littered with teams that have started off 0-2 and gone on to giant seasons.
My favorite example so far is still Galena Park North Shore last year started 1-3.
1-3, okay? This is not a death sentence.
Yeah.
But one of these teams is going to get their wheels back on and feel really good about the way things are going. And the other team is going to come out of this game at 0-2 and be like, is something wrong with us? Is there something that seriously needs to be fixed? Right. So that's a really key game for me out there in East Texas. I don't think a whole lot of people are talking about.
I think there's one more that you gave me.
Did I? That's right.
Yeah, there we go. Now he remembers. This is a good one.
Terrell and Kennedale.
And I don't think it would have jumped out to people as much last year, different classes and everything, but Terrell's moved down, and they might be really good this year. They might be.
We have very high hopes for Terrell.
Yeah.
We think that they have a chance to be really, really good.
Yeah.
And last week they started off in style with a shutout win. This is a team that I think has a chance to be very good. The Tigers have a chance to be very, very good. The key guys for them that you want to know as my computer continues to load. The key guys for Terrell is got to be their running back Elijah McQueen. McQueen went for 198 yards last week, but they are a team that wants to keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
They don't want to put a ton of pressure on their quarterback Ty Zanders. Yeah. They want to keep things on the ground. Kennedale, of course, loses their star running back in Q Wadley.
He's still your beating heart.
I know. I miss him very much. But this is a Kennedale team that we still expect to be very good. A team that there are some teams that we look at and we go, okay, honestly, and we would never say this online or on the air. And online, I suppose. We would never say this. But
anywhere.
There are teams that have breakout years, and we go, all right, they're a flash in the pan.
Right.
Okay. Kennedale last year had a great year, right? 12-1, 5-0, great wing tee offense.
Yeah.
But this Kennedale team, we think is legit because of that defense. Because of Baron Browning, because of Jamer Daniels in this front seven. So you want to talk about strength on strength.
Yeah.
The Terrell running game.
Yeah.
Going up against Baron Browning and this big Kennedale defense.
It's a great test.
Seven. It's going to be a great test for both of them. So those are games that are flying under our radar. What games are flying under your radar? Are flying under the radar for you? Let us know. #DCTF Live.